Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Good afternoon, members of the media. Uh, yeah, our preparations have gone well. Uh, Actually, we beginning week 6 of our pre-season plan after having the entire group together. After our trip to Egypt and our pre-season camp, and it's about now that the window is closed as well. We can focus on the players we have, putting the squad together, the finer details, being prepared not only for Simba Day but for the rest of the season. So still some details to polish up. Still some players coming back from injuries. Yes, we've trimmed our squad and we have a more streamlined squad this season. Not as inflated squad with not too many numbers. We try to keep it small, but of course, with our focus not only for Simba Day, for next week where we face Ngao Cup, and of course the rest of the season as well.
Tukaribishe maswali.
It's about 30 days in Egypt for the preparation of the new season with new signings. How do you see the group now? It's ready for the title contest for the next season. And how do you take this game for the Simba Day? It's the second for you.
Yes, Simba Day is always a special occasion. It's always excitement for the fans to be able to see the new players. There's a lot of changes in our squad, a lot of new signings, a lot of important players, experienced players have left. So last season was a season where we put in the foundation. Last season was a season where we put in the building blocks of the squad. We've kept the core nucleus of our squad, and we've tried to replace some players that have left, and of course identified key areas where we thought we needed to improve. Of course, last season, while putting in the foundation, we came very close to making an historic season. So it was very important for us not to break everything down, but to keep the nucleus of the squad. And once the signings have come in and the squad is together, we have then tried to develop a systematic way where we can refresh our principles for the players that remain, but also introduce our principles, our playing style, evolution of our squad this season to not only mirror what we did last season, but to surpass what we did last season. Of course, that is the aim. You always want to do better than what we did last season. And of course, knowing that we were 2 games away of really achieving huge success, we know that this season is going to be different. We know that the level is going to be higher. We know that teams like Azam, Singida are stronger. We know that Yanga has strengthened as well. So we have to really... And the next step is we're playing in the Champions League. We're no longer playing in the CAF Confederations Cup. And that is where we want to be as Simba Sports Club. So I'm quite happy with the squad at the moment. I'm quite happy with the development so far. There's still a lot of work to be done on the training pitch to fine-tune, to get the team to play in a fluid way. And the evolution of the team, we want to be more fluid in attack, but of course with new players coming in to understand, it takes a bit of time to understand the movements, the spaces, how we want to attack, how we want to react when we don't have the ball. So these are the details that we are still putting in, and it will be an ongoing process. It doesn't stop after 5-6 weeks of pre-season. It will continue as we play this match. We will review, we will analyze, we will get better. And of course, so we'll do not only from now, but for the rest of the season as well.
Zai.
You need another player who have X factor to execute your play on the final sense.
Look, as a coach, the window was still open. You know, I was looking for a Tanzanian number 10. I was looking for because our foreign spots are full. But the window's closed, and it's no longer talking. You know, you speak to sponsors, you speak to investors, you try to get certain deals done. But the window is closed, and I'm happy with my squad. I've got enough X factor players now in that I'm going to focus on to be able to focus on this 5-6 months until the next window open. Of course, as a coach, you always want to strengthen. You always want to improve the depth. You always want to improve competition in the team. We know that we're playing in the Champions League, and in the Champions League, you need a different type of quality. When you analyze the Champions League this season and we're in pot 2, that means pot 1, if you look at the teams there, are very strong. If you look at the teams in pot 3 are very strong. And even the teams in pot 4 are very strong. So even your group stage could be, you could be facing a group of death very early on once you make the qualify for the group stage. So as a coach, you're always looking for players that can come in and strengthen the squad, players that can come in. I use the term X factor, and you always look for that type of players. We know that our foreign quota is full. So at that time, when we were talking, there was still 1 week left of the window. But now the window is closed. I trust all my players. I'm happy with my squad, and I'll focus on the squad to try to develop a strong team this season. Like I said, last season was the season of putting in foundations, and this season is a season where we want to lift trophies.
So 100% you get quality a better team more than
Last season.
Look, you always want to improve. You know, first of all, our big objective for the registration committee was to replace the players that have left. Because if you lose 3 captains in Shaba, in Che Malone, in Fabrice Ngoma, you first have to replace them with a similar or better quality if you can find them. And you can't always replace experience with experience. I cannot replace Fabrice Ngoma with another Fabrice Ngoma, but I can replace him with a player of quality that will fit into the evolution of our team. I can't always replace Shaba with another player of his experience, of knowing the Tanzanian league, but you replace a player that fits the style. And so exactly the same with Che Malone, if you just talk about the 3 experienced captains that we've lost. And yes, the squad at the moment, we've got a younger squad. We've got a squad that has a huge potential, that if we reach our potential, if we play to our strengths, if we develop in the way that we see the squad can develop, we are building a monster. But of course, we still need a couple of windows more to be able to say we are ready now to win Champions League. Because like I said, after the younger game last season, I have the ambition not only to compete in the Champions League, but to win Champions League. And that is always an ongoing process. You know, Rome was not built in a day. You need 3, 4, 5 windows to build a real monster of a team that can compete and that can be on the level of Al Ahly, of Sundowns, of Esperance, of, let's just talk about these giants that have always been in semi-finals and finals of Champions League. So our president Mo Doji has that ambition to conquer Africa. And of course, it's going to take time, it's going to take more windows, but we're on the right track.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, coach.
Definitely, he will only be able to give us information on the Kenya team, Gor Mahia, in the dressing room, because he's injured at the moment. He will not compete tomorrow. He will not play. We had to analyze and look in and do MRI scans in terms of his injury last season. And there's a slight delay in his return to play, so we hope to get him back in the next couple of weeks. So at the moment, yes, his experience, and when we're speaking about Gor Mahia and doing the analysis, he has some very good insights, but unfortunately won't be able to contribute on the pitch tomorrow.
Petro.
Coach, there are like, let's say more than 5 players who are with their national teams.
If you talk about Simba, if you talk about Yanga as well, there was the Chan. So we did a pre-season without our main Tanzanian players. we playing a Simba Day match. I don't think it's right for me to ask the coach Morocco to say who is starting tonight, because if Kagoma starts tonight, probably you won't see him tomorrow. If Kapombe starts tonight, probably you won't see him tomorrow. We know most likely Yakub will start, Nangu, we're not really sure. So we will see once they arrive from Zanzibar tomorrow, and we will see how much minutes they are able to play. Of course, the most important thing for a game like this, yes, the fans want to see them, but you cannot play 90 minutes today and play 90 minutes tomorrow. It's impossible. I'm going to risk injury for my players, so we will be clear to manage in terms of the fitness, the recommendation from our fitness team to say which players can play, which players are going to be at injury risk. So we will get that information once we see Tanzania play this evening. We know Kamara played 90 minutes yesterday. And then we'll see the rest, the players coming back from international break, and we'll see which team will play tomorrow.
Has it affected you on your preparation?
Look, you don't want to make excuses because, like I said, Yanga has faced the same thing with a lot of their players not participating in pre-season. I'm sure their coach has not yet seen them train. And so if I haven't seen Kapombe since we started pre-season, just to mention him. But it's part of it, you know. We adapt as coaches. Some players in international teams, they play World Cups, they play World Club Cups, and you have to give them off. They need their time for rest. They need their time for, you know, when we start the pre-season, the fitness is low and then the freshness is high. So, you know, you have to build the fitness element. When you talk about these players, maybe their fitness level is higher, like Kapombe, but the freshness is low. He didn't really have a proper break. So we have to balance that when they return. We have to assess them, their physical status. And then we make a decision. Then we make a periodized plan for them, how to get them ready for matches, when to give them off. And do they really have to follow the pre-season plan? They followed the pre-season plan of the national team. So like we did with Hamza now, when he came back, we had to assess where he's at. He did not play many minutes in the Chan, so we have to assess his level of fitness and how much minutes he can play, and how to get him ready for the season. So that is our job. That is the fitness team job, to be able to assess and make correct decisions in terms of getting the players ready, not only for this match, not only for the Ngao, but also Champions League after that, and the rest of the season is most important, because if you rush players back doing too much too soon, you risk injury, and that's definitely what we don't want, especially with our streamlined squad, 23 players, 4 goalkeepers that we'll have for the season.
Mwingine mwenye swali? Kuna ambaye haja-
Twende. Coach, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
If I may, I wish to pull you back to the issue of X-Factor player. To make it clear, you didn't get the player that having X-Factor in your squad toward the next season.
The window is closed. So I don't think Simba announced anything. There'll be one announcement of a defensive player today, but
Yes.
only one, and that's it. No, there's no more signings coming through.
Okay, that's fair. Second, I wish to know Bajabel. Will you miss him toward the game of tomorrow only, or even to the?
Of course, his X Factor will miss tomorrow. The X Factor of Bajaba will miss for the next coming weeks. But I've got other X Factor players. You know, when you're building a team, you try to create the evolution of the team, and you try to create competition in the team. You know, last season we had a very good squad in terms of the NBC Premier League, where we could make a rotation and we could play Wednesday, Saturday, and still manage to get results and still manage to play our playing style. I'm not a coach who says this is my starting lineup and you guys will always play. But of course, I'm a realistic coach to say, if you want to play in the Champions League, we need a certain type of depth, we need a certain type of quality, we need a certain type of level of player not only to be part of group stage, not only to be part of quarter-final. You know, I'm a coach who wants to have a squad that can compete in the final of the Champions League, that can win Champions League. So when the window is open, I'm always going to ask for, I'm always going to see what is possible. And then, of course, the investors, the sponsors can say, economically, it doesn't make sense. It makes sense. We can sign him. We cannot sign him. We can sign him in the next window. We cannot, you know. But me as a coach, once the window is open, I'm always going to try to find the best possible option to make my squad stronger. Because, like I said, I don't just want to make up the numbers. I don't just want to come last game of the season and lose. I want to win the league. I want to win the Champions League. I want to win every cup that is available. And I think we have to close this chapter of X Factor because the window is closed. And I have enough X Factor players in my squad. And I'll focus on them. But of course, once the next window is open, we will look to strengthen again, as we always do, as all the big teams do. Whenever there's an opportunity and you see there's a slight opportunity to bring a quality into your team, you will do it and you will ask for it because you want to be the best.
Thanks so much, Coach. Change with Bajaber.